Friday's edition of this vlog, wrapping up Culotta and the Prince. Pretty quick-moving show today. We talked about the recruiting angle with Kevin Steele and Ed Orgeron on the trail. Shea Dixon stopped by after further review yesterday with Moscona, gave a great story about Bebe, who touched down in Elmore, Alabama, with one of the top defensive ends in this class, just reclassified, a big 6'8" Nigerian, Prince Tega from over there, really widely considered to be an Alabama-Auburn lean the entire time, but he's pulling into Baton Rouge this afternoon on an official visit.
Yeah, and a guy that Jerry Hamilton, when he came on the show, talked about, they just invited him to be part of the 2016 Under Armour All-American game. Then he reclassified, so he was a guy that was going to be a big-time guy in 2016. So now in the 2015 class at Orgeron, Kevin Steele, they go see him yesterday. Bebe gets down in a three-point stance and is explaining technique to the guy. So made a great first impression there, and the LSU staff will have him on campus this weekend. Big
one for Johnny Jones and his crew coming off the road win on Wednesday night. We touched on it. Really should be playing with some confidence after a road win in Oxford against a good Ole Miss team. Tomorrow morning, early tip-off inside the Maravich Center versus Texas A&M. Another talented squad who took Kentucky to double overtime last week in College Station. Biggest thing you and I are looking for is the consistent play out of Mickey and Martin, and for these guys to maybe start to develop some type of rotation behind that five.
Yeah, when you talk about maturity with this team, it's got to come from Martin and Mickey. Inconsistent in their first two games in conference, and had put together a really nice game on the road, the Tad Pad against Ole Miss the other night. So now looking to see tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock tip-off, exactly how much maturity these guys have. Can they come in, get a fast start, get a lead, play with a lead, not have to worry about having one of these crazy comebacks to put this game, into overtime like they did at the last home game against Georgia. 2-1 in conference. This will only be their fourth conference game. It'll only be their second home game in conference. So definitely something that we would like to see a consistent effort for this team. Because if you start off 3-1 in conference, you look back on that Missouri loss and it wasn't good at the time. It doesn't look good now. But if you continue to win, there are ways to kind of, act as a little bit more of a deoderant against that loss.
Yeah, without question. Free Beer Friday for us here on your morning drive. We got a great promotion coming up with those guys at Tin Roof. We'll be offering happy hours to our listeners every other week. What's going on?
Yeah, this coming Thursday, January the 22nd, we'll have our first 104.5, 104.9 ESPN listener happy hour over the Tin Roof Tap Room. We'll start at 5 o'clock, 5 to 7. You will have, obviously, for those that win, you and a guest come over there and you get free draft beer for 2 hours, get to hang out with us, talk some sports. It's open to all the listeners. We're going to have some draft pint give deals and such from Tin Roof. And looking forward to having a good time talking football and hanging out with the listeners.
Hey, we also talked to Rick Green, former LSU Tiger great pitcher, who's also the president and CEO of Two Seam Dream Foundation. You can learn more online, the number 2 SeamDreamFoundation.com. Their big event tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock. So if you're getting out to campus early, they'll have a bunch of former major leaguers and former Tiger greats across the street at Alec Box, and in the Maravich Center, they'll tip off with LSU and A&M at 11 o'clock.
One other thing, Jordy went to Marvel Live with Lil J last night. What a great event, right?
Yeah, it is. Left my wallet down in the New Orleans Arena. They took everything from me. Also, a little side note on LSU and A&M tomorrow morning. Look out for the halftime entertainment. The little floppy-headed kid with the big brown eyes, Jordan Culotta. He's the one to be dominantly left, but don't let it fool you. He's a right-handed kid. All right, Culotta and the Prince, 104.5, 104.9 ESPN Baton Rouge. That is the chest hair. Introduce yourself.
Jimmy Chest Hair here. That's all I have to say.
All right, 7 to 9 a.m., 104.5, 104.9 ESPN Baton Rouge. Remember, follow us on Twitter at 104.5 ESPN. Have a great weekend.